Good afternoon. Welcome everyone to EMU's annual Legacy Scholarship Luncheon. It is truly a pleasure to have you all here today and to celebrate the remarkable achievements of our students and the generosity of EMU alumni and friends. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Kirk Schisler. I'm a proud alum of the class of 1981, and I serve EMU as Vice President for Advancement. I extend an especially warm welcome to our esteemed scholarship donors, sponsors, without whom we would not be gathered like this today. Your commitment to EMU's distinctive mission and your belief in our students' potential inspires all of us. To our talented student recipients, your hard work and persistence are commendable. Really, we're incredibly proud of you. And we appreciate also the presence of our board members. We have a number of trustees who just finished their intensive work the last few days, and a number of them are here today. Various administrators are here, our faculty and staff. Your tireless efforts in supporting our students and ensuring that they have the best possible educational experience here at EMU is so deeply appreciated. We are here today to recognize and celebrate the profound impact of both endowed scholarship funds as well as immediate impact grant scholarships. Research continuously bears out the fact that financial concerns are the number one factor, oftentimes, in the college choice of today's students. By providing scholarships, we're not just easing financial burdens and future debt, as critical as that is, we're opening doors of access and opportunity that might otherwise be out of reach for our students. So our goal today is to facilitate connection between scholarship fund donors and representatives and our students, as together we foster a sense of community together and shared purpose. Together we celebrate the achievements, again, of our students, made possible by exceptional faculty and staff commitment and the unwavering generosity of alumni and donors. I would also like to take a moment to thank today's sponsoring donor for this event, our friends at Everence. Everence's support of EMU and the many ways that Everence supports and services our constituents throughout North America is deeply appreciated. A bit later in the program, we'll hear from Glenn Kaufman, our trusted advisor and friend at Everence, and we'll hear more from him a bit later. At this time, for our invocation, I'm pleased to welcome and introduce Jane Huber Pfeiffer, class of 1975 and vice chair of the Board of Trustees. Jane is a spiritual director and retreat leader who has served as pastor for Community Mennonite Church here locally, as well as at Blossom Hill Mennonite Church in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Jane continues to make significant contributions to the spiritual development of pastors and conference ministers through her collaborative work at Eastern Mennonite Seminary. Her leadership extends to numerous boards and committees, including Mennonite Church USA Executive Board and the steering committee for the Mennonite Spiritual Director Network. Jane and her husband Daryl live here locally in Harrisonburg and attend Shalom Mennonite congregation. They have 2 children and 5 grandchildren. Please join me in welcoming Jane Huber Pfeiffer.
Thank you, Kirk. Well, I bring you greetings from a very tired bunch of people. The Board of Trustees, who we have just completed, as he indicated, a day and a half of meetings, plus many of us prepare for those with committee meetings ahead of time. But it is really wonderful to share this time with you here today. It strikes me in life that in order for people to exist together on this planet, there are times when we are called to be the giver, and there are times when we're called to be the receiver. Both are callings. Both are gifts from the one from whom all good gifts come. So blessings to all of you here, the givers and the receivers in this case, and then all of you in between who have made the gifts come alive in your teaching and your leading and your mentoring. So as a board of trustees, lovers of EMU, we are just really grateful to God for everyone, every one of you here today. Join me now in praying a simple Celtic version of the Lord's Prayer. Let's pray together. Holy One, beyond all names, eternal wellspring, may love rise again in us today, with food for every table, shelter for every family, and reverence for every life. Forgive us our failings in love, and free us from all falseness, that the light of our souls may shine and the strength of our spirits endure. For earth and all its people, this day, tonight, and forever. Amen.
I'm pleased to welcome Miriam Rhodes, who is a third-year music and peace building and elementary education double major. Miriam teaches private and group violin lessons through our preparatory music program here. She is concert master of the EMU Chamber Orchestra and a recent winner of the annual Concerto Area competition. She enjoys playing disc golf with the EMU disc golf team, which continues to grow in fame and renown. She enjoys hiking and camping and playing music with friends. And Miriam is the recipient this year of the Stern Estep Endowed Music Scholarship. She will be accompanied in her presentation by Harold Bailey, adjunct faculty member in the music department. Please join me in welcoming Miriam and Harold. And one more time for Miriam and Harold. Thank you. That was extraordinary. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, now I'm pleased to welcome to the podium Glenn Kaufman, financial planner at Everence. Glenn is an 82 math education grad and a 2006 MBA grad of EMU. He and his wife Sandra, who's also a 1982 math education grad, have established the Sandra and Glenn Kaufman Endowed Education Scholarship. And this scholarship stands as a testament to the Kaufman's dedication to EMU and their desire to empower future generations of aspiring and outstanding teachers, which, as we all know, is one of many hallmarks of EMU. Thank you, Glenn and Sandy. And Glenn, thank you for your leadership and work at Everence on behalf of this community and beyond. Welcome, Glenn Kaufman.
Thank you, Kirk. Yeah, I'm sorry Sandy can't be here today. She's at her teacher sorority in Charlottesville today. They have their state convention, so she's still very much a teacher at heart. Everence is delighted to sponsor this event where your generosity is being celebrated. Those of you here realize that generosity enriches both the giver and the receiver. The purpose of this legacy luncheon is to celebrate the opportunities at EMU to establish plans that will extend your impact beyond your lifetime. Sandy and I are pleased that we were able to establish an endowment several years ago that supports students who are going to be math teachers. Sandy spent 30 years in the classroom, and we believe that teachers play an integral role in encouraging our young people. So why does Everence sponsor this event? Our mission at Everence is simple, but compelling. Together, we empower financial well-being for faith-inspired living. We work with both individuals and institutions to accomplish this goal, and Everence appreciates our partnership with Eastern Mennonite University as one of those institutions. Everence also offers donor-advised funds and charitable trusts and gift annuities to our member donors. We also encourage people to make qualified charitable distributions from their IRAs and bequests from their wills and estates. There's a brochure if you want to know more about the Everence Financial Services at your place setting. You certainly are welcome to take that with you. Those special gifts fund the legacy gifts that we are celebrating here today. Planned gifts fund the endowments and the capital projects that are integral to the success of Eastern Mennonite University. In conclusion, Everence joins Eastern Mennonite University in thanking you for your support, and we invite you to reach out to us to help you reach your financial and charitable goals. Thank you for your attention today.
Thank you, Glenn. Well, I'm honored at this time to introduce and welcome EMU President, Dr. Susan Schultz Huxman. Dr. Huxman has served for more than 38 years in higher education in a variety of faculty and senior administrative and academic roles. She has served as EMU's 9th president for the past 9 years. And Susan is EMU's first woman president and the first academic president, achieving the rank of full professor. President Huxman announced her retirement earlier this year, noting that EMU is more than a job. It's a ministry, she says. I have been honored and humbled to tend the vine for this time, and I look forward to graduating with the class of 2025 and leaning into the finish line as I round the last lap. During her tenure, Dr. Huxman advanced the university's strategic direction, created a more welcoming and inclusive community, provided stability and guidance through the global pandemic, sharpened EMU's mission, vision, and values, and leaned into its Anabaptist heritage and core scriptural mandate from Micah 6:8 to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. Dr. Huxman also led the university in setting a new fundraising record during our centennial year several years ago, and is now steering EMU through our second year quiet phase of our $40 million comprehensive campaign. Dr. Huxman's husband, Jess, serves as communications manager for Mennonite Disaster Service, MDS, USA. They have 3 adult children, all of whom graduated from different Mennonite colleges. 2 sons-in-law, a daughter-in-law, and 4 grandchildren under the age of 4. What fun. Jonah, Eloise, Rex, and Sutton, please join me in welcoming President Huxman.
Thank you, Kirk. I got to shake this woman's hand one more time. Let's give it up for Miriam. Students are why we are here, right? It is good to see you this afternoon on this cool spring day on the EMU campus. We are especially thankful for spring after a long, hard winter, at least by Virginia standards. Today, we also observe the second full week of Lent, which spans the emotional spectrum of the Christian faith, a 40-day observance that begins with acknowledging grief and loss and repentance, and ends with joy, hope, and the promise of salvation. And true to the Lenten season, the glorious blooming flowers remind us that hope springs eternal. Welcome to our Legacy Scholarship Luncheon at EMU. As you know, my name is Susan, president here, and on behalf of the entire advancement team that has worked so carefully and joyfully to create this event, we are so very glad you're here. This event takes months to prepare, and our advancement team is first-rate, professional ambassadors of the highest caliber. If you are on the advancement team, please stand. This would be Kirk and Mayor Reed and Shay and Cassie and Chris and Tim and Graham and Nicole and others. Please stand. We need to give you all a... These are the fine people that are the grand connectors, in Malcolm Gladwell's term, the grand connectors between the students who are the recipients and you, the supporters, the donors, with the gifts. It is a noble ministry to be in advancement. We also have senior administrators and faculty here. So glad. If you are a faculty or a staff member at EMU, these are the folks who walk with our students day in and day out, inside and outside the classroom, to help them in both their intellectual and faith journeys. Please stand if you're a faculty or staff member at EMU. And last but not least, as you heard from Jane, this has been a busy week for trustees. Yes, we're sort of running on fumes, aren't we? But good things in the offing. And we have at least 8 members of our 21-member board from all different states. We are very much nationally represented. So please stand up. I think Raj Roy is here with us from Maryland, Jim Rosenberger from Pennsylvania, Jane Pfeiffer from Virginia, Glenna Raymer from Tennessee, Matthew Koshi from California, Diane Bailey from Connecticut, and Janet Lind from Pennsylvania. Thank you, trustees. Did I forget you, Louise? Please stand up. Our vice chair of the Board of Trustees, stand up, stand up. You always worry about that when you start naming people. My error. This year, of course, we are focusing on celebrating generous donors who are here in this room and around the world. These are the people who have established scholarships and immediate impact grants, often as a tribute to a beloved family member or to honor another loved one. Hence, we call this the Legacy Scholarship Luncheon. We also celebrate all the deserving student recipients across the university from all three of our undergraduate schools, Sean, PATH, and SSP. Yes, we academics are notorious about acronyms. Sean stands for Science, Engineering, Art, and Nursing. PATH is Performing Arts, Theology, and Humanities. And SSP is Social Sciences and Professions. And we have student recipients from two of our graduate programs, Eastern Mennonite Seminary and the Center for Justice and Peace Building. And of course, these two programs have acronyms too, EMS and CJP. So to capture the synergy of this luncheon celebration, a special welcome to both our accomplished students, who are the recipients of awards, and our very, very generous supporters who have breathed life into these awards. The appreciation lunch symbolizes so powerfully why EMU can do what it does so well: cultivate, nurture, and eventually harvest a new crop of talented, compassionate, and globally engaged, unifying leaders, bridge builders who are making a difference and changing the world day by day, year to year. To put it another way, our mission is to prepare students to serve and lead in a global context in the spirit of Micah 6:8, but that mission does not happen when we don't have the broad pathways of access and achievement opened that these awards provide for so many students who otherwise would simply not be here. Indeed, these scholarships are mission critical. There's a beautiful quote from Winston Churchill that I think sums up what we are celebrating today quite eloquently. He said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." Indeed, we do. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. And our EMU donors get that. You get that. They model that spirit of generosity year after year. So on behalf of our Board of Trustees and our faculty and staff, I say thank you for enriching and empowering the lives of so many students. Here are some amazing data points about donor contributions and what they unlock in terms of our students' achievements. Nearly 100% of our student body receives some type of institutional scholarship. Yes, you heard that right, nearly 100%. Of course, we are a private college, remember, we don't receive state monies. That means a whole host of loyal, royal friends, a great cloud of witnesses must step up and step up big time to make an EMU education affordable. Prospective students and their families tell us that one of the first sets of questions they have is about affordability. They say to us, "I don't think I can afford a private education at EMU. And just tell me, straight out, what will my out-of-pocket expenses really be?" In fiscal year 2024, 240 students were awarded from 238 unique scholarships, and 256 donors provided over $3.5 million in gifts and bequests to scholarships. In our 5-year, $40 million Forward Together campaign, which runs until June 30th of 2028, and by the way, we are over the halfway mark at $21 million, but in that $40 million campaign, we are working to raise at least $5 million of new funding just for direct financial aid for students. And as of the end of February, we have raised over $3.7 million, plus an additional $1.3 million in longer-term estate commitments just to student scholarships. Our cup runneth over with gratitude. So today, as we celebrate our students' talents and aspirations, the men and women who have won these competitive awards, we are thankful. Students, at this time, will you please stand, the recipients of our awards, and let's give it up for these talented students. So if you would remain standing, just for a little, again, these are some of our deserving students from the junior and senior class and a few graduate students. But while our students are standing, I'm going to have them lead us in a round of applause to the donors who have given you this opportunity. So let's do that again. All right, you can be seated now. Thank you. Again, donors, whether you established your scholarship or grant 40 years ago or just last year, your trust and your investment in our students makes you our strong partners for a bright future at EMU. So in closing, I thank you, EMU donors, for your support. At the heart of our shared belief that an EMU education changes lives and creates a better world is a shared commitment to give to people, to launch the next generation. It is a special day. Enjoy. And now it gives me special pleasure to introduce our donor speakers for today's event, Phil and Susan Gingrich. Phil has fond memories. By the way, this is the two of them graduated, do I have this right, in 1969? No.
I actually graduated from JMU, should have graduated in 69, started with the class
Okay.
of 69 here.
All right, I think I do have that part, but I thought you, okay. Come on up while I give a fuller context for why you are salt of the earth people here at EMU. Phil has fond memories of growing up on a farm in southeastern Iowa. At age 16, is that right? I'm going to have to check my notes. He moved to Virginia when his father took a job at Eastern Mennonite College. He graduated from EMC in 1970 with a degree in elementary education. Phil taught in Rockingham County Public Schools at Linville Edom Elementary for 30 years. In 2001, he was named Eastern Mennonite High School Co-Alumnus of the Year. After retiring from teaching, Phil worked at EMU as athletics events coordinator for 13 years. Currently, Phil enjoys attending EMU athletic games, and I can attest to this. This is a royal rooter through and through. Collecting sports memorabilia, traveling, and gardening. Susan was raised on a farm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. She attended Eastern Mennonite College, but as you have said, graduated from what was then Madison College in 71. And much later, she earned a master's degree in learning disabilities. After teaching for several years in Shenandoah County, she taught 36 years at Eastern Mennonite High School, primarily working with students who struggled with academics. In retirement, she enjoys reading, volunteering at Book Savers, and singing in church and other choirs. Phil and Susan have 3 children who are all graduates of EMU and are teachers in some capacity. Phil and Susan are active members of Harrisonburg Mennonite Church. Please help me give a warm welcome to Phil and Susan.
Thank you, Dr. Huxman. Pardon my voice. I'm not as sick as I sound. Both my parents, Paul and Marjorie Ginrich, were educators. They recognized the influence teachers can have on the lives and futures of young people. While they both taught in public and private schools, they shared a strong commitment to Christian education. In fact, Paul worked at EMU for 44 years, retiring at the age of 92. They believe that young people, the future of the church and the world, are influenced by the values and the perspectives they are exposed to. While schools are only one of many influences shaping who we become, the ideas and discussions that occur in classrooms, dorm rooms, cross-cultural experiences with EMU staff, and anywhere that students gather can be a significant factor in the process. Mom and Dad's love for young people, teaching, and for the church led them to establish an endowed scholarship for education majors at EMU. Since we shared these sentiments and are the middle of 3 generations of teachers, it seems only natural for us to add to this endowment.
We believe in EMU's underlying core values. Quote, Eastern Mennonite University centers its mission and vision on core values of community, service to others, sustainability, peacemaking, and discipleship, aiming to educate students for global leadership and service for the common good, end quote. While these characteristics always bring an important flavor to our community, the need seems especially obvious in our current climate. We see the need for leaders who have learned to work together, who respect and cherish the gifts each person brings, and who work for the good of all people and the earth.
When I worked at EMU in the athletic department, I was impressed by the care and attention that professors, coaches, and staff gave to the students, investing in their growth, development, and well-being. I benefited from this care when I was a student more than 50 years ago. In fact, I would not have become a teacher had it not been for one of the education professors. My first year and a half at EMU, I evidently focused on social life and sports far more than the rigors of studying. When I realized a business major did not suit my interests and gifts, I applied to the education department. Unfortunately, my GPA was 1/10 of a point under the required standard. One of my professors, who had observed me interacting with children and who knew that being an effective teacher required more than a high GPA, recommended that I be given a chance. Actually, I believe I was probably a better teacher because I understood the students who were less motivated. Without his belief in my potential, I would have not had the opportunity. I would not have had the opportunity to do the job that I dearly loved for 30 years.
I was a student at EMU during the Civil Rights Movement. While I knew a little bit about what was going on, I was generally oblivious to the struggle that was taking place. Before social media, access to TVs in our dorms, and being pretty much sequestered on campus, extra effort was required to follow the news. Since I was an education major, I was required to take a year of U.S. history. I took my first semester, which ended with the Civil War, at EMU, and my second semester, which started with the Civil War, at JMU. The clearly contrasting viewpoints were my first real awareness that there could be significant differences in the telling of historical events and their outcomes, and in the belief in the equality of every person. I don't remember specific details, but I do remember that it was a rude awakening. Many times over the years, I regretted not having participated in the civil rights movement in some way. After the murder of George Floyd, I enrolled in a racial equity workshop and read more widely about racism, primarily works by Black authors, both fiction and nonfiction. I also joined a group at our church that focused on raising awareness of racial injustice and the systems that perpetuate it. However, I wanted to do something tangible. When Braden Hoover presented the possibility of donating to the EMU Grant Fund, I realized that perhaps this would be one way Phil and I could do our part in tipping the scales ever so slightly towards equity, by enabling a non-white student to attend EMU and graduate with less college debt.
While we know that no institution is perfect and that not all who attend EMU will adopt EMU's values for themselves, we believe that EMU's mission aligns with the vision we espouse for future leaders in our community and beyond. EMU has definitely left an imprint on our family, and we want to be part of seeing that influence continue to permeate our society like yeast in a bowl full of flour. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil and Susan, for that compelling and authentic reflection. Thank you so much. Well, I'm pleased now to welcome Troy Martin, Director of Financial Assistance at EMU. Troy joined EMU's team last fall and brings 40 years of professional experience in the financial aid sector. His extensive career has primarily been dedicated to Christian higher education, where he has consistently provided guidance and support to students and their families, navigating the complexities of financing their education. Prior to his role at EMU, Troy served as the Director of Student Financial Services at ENU, that would be Eastern Nazarene University or College, ENC, in Massachusetts. And prior to that, he was at Houghton College in a similar role in Western New York. Troy's educational background includes a bachelor's degree in business administration from Houghton College and also an MBA from the State University of New York, Buffalo. The combination of academic knowledge and practical experience has equipped Troy with the skills we need so desperately at EMU to help our students and our team understand and navigate the complexities and challenges of financial aid in our time. Troy is married to Susan Martin, who also works in college administration. They have 3 adult sons and 2 grandsons. Please join me in welcoming Troy Martin.
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank the Advancement Office for giving me a chance to say a few words about my role and experience with donor-funded scholarships. I attended a college very similar to EMU a long time ago. It was a small Christian college in rural Western New York. I was a first-generation college student. It would not have been able to attend college without the assistance of scholarships. My father was a carpenter with an 8th grade education, and my mother was a hairdresser at a nursing home. So as you can imagine, money was tight. Despite this, my parents saw the value of higher education and did everything they could to help me achieve my educational goals. I was also fortunate enough to be the recipient of an endowed scholarship when I attended college in the early 1980s. The scholarship was helpful and allowed me to continue my education. I took the time to write a thank you note to the donors of this generous scholarship. That's foreshadowing. After I graduated from college as a business major, I worked for a year in a bank and then began my career in financial aid. I started as a financial aid counselor and worked my way up to becoming the financial aid director of my alma mater. One year, my office decided to go through all of our old endowed scholarship files to clean them up and just keep the important documents. Well, wouldn't you know, I found the thank you note that I had written many years earlier. And I have it right here. Let me read to you what I wrote, since it is so inspiring. And for you students who are here, please pay attention, because this may be life-changing for you. The thank you note is dated March 31st, 1982. Scholarship Committee, thank you for the general scholarship of $600. The money will help me a great deal in finishing my major in business administration. My goal after I graduate from Houghton is to obtain a job in, wait for it, middle management. Thanks for your generosity in awarding me this scholarship. Sincerely, Troy Martin. Yes, I had big dreams, and let me tell you, I'm living the dream. And students, aim high. In all seriousness, I'm one of the few and fortunate people blessed to be a part of administering donor-funded scholarships. I love to meet and get to know folks who have created or contributed to college scholarships. There are a variety of reasons why someone might generously give to an EMU scholarship. Perhaps the donor had a great experience as a student and wants to provide that opportunity to a future generation of EMU students to have that same wonderful college experience. Perhaps they have a strong belief in the mission of EMU and want to see students come here to learn, to grow, and to go forth from here with a solid foundation of academic excellence, active faith, and embodying the values of peace and justice. Perhaps they see a need for EMU graduates to be in a particular profession or in leadership roles. It's inspiring to see how these folks have been blessed and feel moved to use their resources to help others, to help students. I'm also fortunate to interact with the students who receive these scholarships. They are full of hope and promise and unlimited potential. Almost all of these students have financial needs that provide challenges to them and their families. Often it is only through these scholarships that they're able to enroll and to graduate from EMU. Some of these students are first-generation college students like I was. Some are from single-parent families. Some are international students. Some have little, if any, family support to finance their education. I see how impactful these scholarships are to these students. And it is my hope that one day these current students, after they graduate, will be in a financial position that they in turn can help a future generation of EMU students. I want to say thank you to the donors for your generous support of scholarships. I want to say to the students, continue to pursue your educational goals with the full knowledge that there are folks who care about you and are joyfully investing in your future. As one of my favorite football players said in his MVP acceptance speech a few weeks ago, be good, do good, and God bless. He also said, go Bills. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to introduce the student speaker. Marciela Shalamita is a senior at EMU, double majoring in biology and mathematics with a minor in Bible, religion, and theology. Originally from Indonesia, she now lives in Philadelphia with her family. At EMU, she's actively involved in clubs and organizations, including the Asian Pacific Islander Student Alliance, student chaplains, and being a community advisor in the residence hall. She also founded EMU's badminton club during her first year. Marciela conducts biology research in Dr. Copeland's Fly Lab has presented at conferences and is working on a journal article with the research group. Outside of academics, she serves in ministry at her home church in Philadelphia, participates in the Every Valley, Every Nation campus worship team, and enjoys listening to music and taking sunset walks. Please join me in welcoming Marciela to the podium.
Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for the opportunity to speak at this Legacy Scholarship Luncheon. I'm truly honored and grateful to be here today. Good afternoon, everyone. Students, faculty, staff, honored guests. As mentioned, my name is Marciela Vania Shalavida, and I'm a senior at EMU, double majoring in biology and mathematics, with a minor in Bible, religion, and theology, because I clearly just like too many things. When I first came to EMU, I was adamant on eventually becoming a surgeon in the future. I had been interested in surgery since middle school, and my high school shadowing experiences only made me more sure of it. I started EMU with a biology major on the pre-medical track and a math minor. But then my first 2 years here completely changed my plans. It started with math. I've always loved math, and maybe stereotypically, I was good at it growing up, but I never thought I would major in it. When I took discrete mathematics with Dr. Daniel Showalter, who's out here somewhere, I saw just how broad and fascinating math really is. Courses like inferential statistics, regression and ANOVA, calculus 2 and 3, probability, geometry, abstract algebra, and many more courses just made me love math even more. I even had opportunities to tutor students, which made me slightly more interested in teaching. By my second year, I had almost finished my math minor, and through encouragement from my professors, I figured, why not just add it as a major? At the same time, my faith was growing in ways I didn't expect. I got involved in Celebration, the student-led worship club, which led me to join the student chaplain team. And through that, I met my spiritual mentor, who is also a nursing instructor here, Judy Hyatt, and found a second family in Every Nation campus and Divine Unity Community Church. I thought my faith would stay the same throughout college, but instead, it has grown and shaped my journey in ways I never anticipated. Outside of academics, I enjoyed being involved in many clubs, and one of my favorite things was starting EMU's badminton club during my first semester. In Indonesia, badminton is kind of a big deal, and playing in my high school activity period made me fall in love with it again, and it helped me reconnect with my culture and made international friends with people from all over the world. And I wanted to share that with EMU, so the club was born. I've also been part of the team and exec boards of the Campus Activities Council and Asian Pacific Islander Student Alliance Club, among many others, which made me connect with others, and this campus became more like home. The biggest shift in my career plan happened the summer after my second year, when I had the opportunity to do research with Dr. Jeffrey Copeland through the Kaufman-Miller Research Grant. We studied the behavioral effects of the loss of serotonin transporter in larval fruit flies, and we work at both EMU and UVA, and especially the lab dynamic at UVA opened my eyes to biology research, something I had never seriously considered before. It also reminded me of something I had been obsessed with since high school: bioengineered organs. Back then, I did an AP biology project on organ scaffolding techniques, which I thought was the coolest thing ever. And then last year, I got to explore it again through a bioinformatics RNA sequencing project, which I presented at EMU's Academic and Creative Excellence, or the ACE Festival. Then since then, I've continued my research, my fruit fly research, and now studying the effects of the loss of serotonin transporter in adult fruit flies. This research has opened doors I never expected, from presenting at the ACE Festival to the Central Virginia chapter of the Society of Neuroscience Conference at Virginia Tech last year, and working on a journal to publish. And then even next week, we have the opportunity to present a poster at the 66th Annual Drosophila Research Conference in San Diego. And then none of this would have been possible without the close mentorship and support I've had at EMU. After EMU, I plan to keep going into biology research, possibly in organ engineering, and maybe going into teaching in the future. EMU has given me the space to explore my interest, and I'm grateful for every opportunity I've had here. And then none of this would have been possible without the generosity of the donors in this room and many others. Your support has made EMU more affordable and for students like me and allowed us to chase passions we didn't even know we had. Thank you for making that possible.
Well, Marciela, after listening to that, I realize I can no longer use the excuse with my family or friends or colleagues that, oh, rats, there's only 24 hours in a day to get things done, I mean, goodness, thank you for that. Truly inspiring remarks. Thanks so much. Thank you all for being here today. Thanks to our speakers today for your inspiration, Marciela, Phil and Susan Gingrich, President Huxman, Troy Martin. Thank you for your insights and observations on the profound importance and impact of endowed and immediate impact grant scholarships. Thanks also, Miriam and Harold, for your musical performance today, and Glenn for your remarks on behalf of Everence. Thank you. Thank you as well to our trustees who are here today and those who are not here, to our faculty and staff, the core, carry the core strength of our programs and care of our students. Thank you to our alumni and donors who are here today, who make possible the educational journey and transformation that we observed in a small way today, but by extension, just in a stunning array of impact that's reflected in our students. Thanks again to Everence, our sponsor of this event today, with much appreciation. And lastly, again, thanks to my advancement colleagues, and I'd like a shout out, if you'll join me, to Laura Daly, our Director of Advancement Services, and Shay Jones-Mitchell for their heavy lifting to pull off the planning for this event. This concludes our time together. As you leave today, of course, take time to visit with others here that you know or don't know. We do have a table with some complimentary gifts from our advancement team. Please stop by and pick something up to take with you. And at this time, I would like to invite our provost, Dr. Tanisha Willingham, forward, who will offer the closing benediction for our wonderful time together. Dr. Willingham is an accomplished leader with over 2 decades of experience in higher education. She is a first-generation college graduate, holding a PhD in curriculum and instruction from those folks in blue and white, Penn State University, where she also earned a BA in Spanish and African American Studies. Dr. Willingham's career began as an elementary school teacher, where she taught in both urban and rural communities. This experience deeply influenced her research, which focuses on literacy, teacher development, and community engagement. Before joining EMU, Tanisha served as Vice President of Academic Affairs at Mary Baldwin University, and prior to that, Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs at St. Norbert College in Wisconsin. Dr. Willingham is deeply committed to using data-informed strategies to support student success and to enhance and help us achieve EMU's strategic goals. She is a respected author and scholar, having published a number of books and professional articles. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Willingham.
Good afternoon. If we could center our hearts and minds as we prepare to leave this space, may we be grateful for today and the blessings of today. May we express our gratitude for this time of fellowship and celebration. May we thank God, our Creator, for the generous donors that we have who make gifts to ensure that the journey of education is possible for our EMU students. We have gratitude for the scholars whose dedication brings curiosity to life, and for all those that serve our campus community. We ask that God guides us as we embody EMU's core values of academic excellence, peace and justice, and active faith. May the education received here be translated into action that heals our fractured world. May we ask God to give our community the vision to recognize injustice, the courage to speak truth, and the compassion to build bridges where others may build walls. May our EMU graduates continue to be reconcilers and peacemakers in all aspects of their lives, and help us integrate faith with learning in ways that honor diverse expressions while remaining true to our Anabaptist heritage. Bless our students, bless our faculty, bless our staff, and bless our generous donors. So as we leave this gathering, we recognize the sacred connection between those who give, those who learn, and those who will be touched by the ripple effects of EMU's mission, vision, and values. We ask that you bless each person here with purpose and with peace, and we ask this with thankful hearts. Amen.